You're right. Gotta stay sensitive. I'm new to California, so sorry.
Yeah, you know, the fires were real serious. Real serious, but we're okay. We're okay here. Essia versus Kionys. Let's see what you got. Oh my god! We are, you know, in a house of mirrors today.
I like it. Another Dragon Mirror. We'll see how this one goes. I highly doubt we'll see it end the same way, but I'm saying that in hopes that we do. Both players kind of off camera. They're like they're sinking in.
Yeah, Escha's in his own little dimension right now.
Yeah.
He already had the hood on, right? He was already like zoned in, but now he's like in this bottom right corner. He's just, you know.
Well, like Rainey said, this is do or die. This is you got to make it or
elimination is right here.
Yep.
Whoever loses this continues to be at home, and then, you know.
So in the mirror so far, we see that Essia has a little bit of a leg up. He's got some ramp. He's got his early plays. However, now Kionys is right on the same path. He's got his Dragon Summoner into the Ella. No other ramp until Sybil, which is going to be a little bit later than the Fervors, but I don't think that's going to matter too much.
Genesis Dragon off Dragon Summoner here.
We also see Kionys with the Ouroboros, so very heads up by a lot of these Dragon players to be bringing this stuff with the
and the area.
Maybe it will so. The same way.
I really, you know, honestly, I really hope the game does not end that way. I do not want the game to end that way.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see how this one takes it into the end game here. But yep, honestly, we're just going to see a lot of posturing from both players here.
Yeah, Dragon's early game is very, unless they just don't draw the cards for it, it's very, you know, cut and dry. Like, I'm going to play ramp cards. You're going to try and make me not ramp, but we both know I'm going to ramp anyway. Like, there's just...
I like the story of the Essia and the Kionys right now, too, because these are the players that we really want to see more out of, and they have to fight against each other right now. Like, this is really going to see which one of the two deserves to be here to make it, you know, to the end, that kind of thing. So this is a really fun matchup. We get to showcase two of the newer players to the season, as well as see what they can do, see how powerful their strategies are. And realistically, if they can come back from being on the back foot, like I was saying, like if they really have it in them to just step it back up and
go
get
all
in
the way
there.
through loser's bracket.
Yeah.
At least one of them is guaranteed to move on.
Yes, one of them is guaranteed to get to one extra round. So there is that.
They can't both, you know, drop out.
Right. One of them might drop out of their seats the way they're sitting, though. I'm not sure.
Escha might fall down. I don't know if you should be careful. Kionys' hand is just not anything this turn.
No. No, I think he's just like, okay, if I ramp him, what happens? If I don't ramp him, what happens?
He is still one play point ahead, right? But if there's a Draconic Fervor in hand, this would backfire really hard. Yep. And it might.
So I guess the decision here is to actually put a lot of pressure in play to kind of like anti-Fervor, but he didn't play the Scyther. So interesting to try to save the Ayala. Not sure why he did that.
Could also go for Dragon Oracle into Ayala to try and go for a cheeky double ramp off the back of this. But he's going to go for a Fervor.
I like Fervor. It keeps Ayala from actually being killed from Kionys' side. Slows down his ramp. And
this is just a textbook Dragon versus Dragon.
Yep. So we're going to see Essia ramp a little bit faster this game, even being on the draw. So very, very well played early turns by him. I think Kionys is really just allowing it, though. It was because of Kionys that this was all possible. So yeah, he's just going to go directly to 10. I love this line of play. And this is exactly what you were talking about before the last match, is if somebody just really gets out to 10 really quickly, they can just take over the game. They don't even have to wait for this silly dragon endgame that we normally see.
Yeah, don't waste time with that silly dragon cards.
Right. They can just play Genesis
he's on
Dragon.
10 next turn.
Yep.
Kionys is an overflow, but he has no payoff other than Dragoon Scyther, so...
So technically, he could ramp himself to 10 on the following turn as well by jamming Ayala in and by playing Ayala and evolving it.
Is that really worth it, though?
Is it really worth it? I'm not sure. Giving up an evolution orb, yeah. He does have the Scyther to kill like a Bahamut if it does come down early, or the Genesis Dragon, so he's not completely dead out of the water if he doesn't double ramp this turn. The problem is, like, how are you realistically dealing with this Sybil if you don't use an evolution orb this turn?
Right. Yeah, that is true. Dragon Summoner farming another Sybil would be good. Oh, a Dragon Scyther.
Not the worst.
He wants to keep that, though.
Yeah. See, this is the big thing with Kionys' play here. So if Kionys would have ramped just one more time earlier, which he definitely had access to do, he could have gotten that Ouroboros online before the 10 play points to make this game a lot harder for Essia to play. But now this Ouroboros is kind of just going to sit there for a little bit until it can be played. It might still be the best play next turn, but it might have to trade into something like an Evolved Genesis Dragon or a Bahamut or something like that.
Yeah, I think Genesis Dragon's just going to get slammed down here.
Yeah, I like both plays here. Like, even if you play a Bahamut here, that only pushes Kionys to 9. He can't answer it back with a Bahamut. You just saw a Scyther being played.
Yep. It is true. It's fine to assume that, you know, Bahamut would be... yeah, you know, it's kind of safe. Not
Kind of
super
safe.
but kind of safe.
We know that Kionys has another Scyther,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
if I was Essia in his shoes right now, I would probably go with the Bahamut just for the opportunity to have that next turn kill, essentially. Especially after seeing the Scyther specifically.
Goes for Genesis Dragon.
Okay, definitely not a bad play here. Now, do you Evo this?
Yes.
100%.
100%. Okay. So this is what Essia is saying to me with this is that he knows there's another Scyther in hand. He doesn't know that because he's not cheating, but
Right.
he quote unquote knows that.
Right.
So, which is a fine assumption, I think, after seeing a Dragon Summoner. You can kind of assume there could be. So
yeah, I think Ouroboros is the best play. He's gonna have to use an Evo. He's gonna have to do that regardless because it's really the only answer he has for the next couple of turns for anything.
Which is unfortunate, but you know.
And he can't like do some cheeky play where he can like evolve Ayala and like attack with both and play Ouroboros because it's not enough damage. Genesis Dragon has a ton of toughness. He could play Scyther here, but I think you want to, like, you've already used a Scyther. I'm pretty sure you want to save those for Bahamuts.
Yeah, you definitely save Scyther here. It was weird enough to see one attack a 6/3 Sybil. I'm gonna be really surprised if it attacks this Genesis Dragon.
I think that was just in preservation of the Evolution Orbs. I think he wanted to keep those.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine because if you keep Evolution Orbs when you have access to Ouroboros, it means that you have more ways to deal with Bahamuts. Because you have those evolutions on Ouroboros to deal, so...
He's also got the problem of, like, if he plays Ouroboros this turn and doesn't kill Ayala on this dragon, he's still not getting 10 next turn.
Right.
So...
Which I think
stall
again is a
10 that hard?
mistake.
Yeah.
I think is a mistake. Like, again, it slowed down his Ouroboros plan. Now he's using this. Like, now I would almost 100% play a Bahamut and make him even use that Evolution Orb.
Yeah, that was really interesting. To use the Scyther like that.
Yeah, Kionys with some interesting plays here. Maybe he's trying to force out the Bahamut so he can kill it, but I don't think that's really where you want to be going with this, with the hand that you have left.
I mean, it would ramp him, but he doesn't have really a hand.
Right.
So...
It's an interesting play from Kionys. Maybe I hope we eat our words and he just knows exactly what he's doing.
Hopefully.
Now we're gonna see Essia go into the tank here. He really this is where dragon decisions get really hard. Like I have all of these options. I could play Sawquill, I could play Bahamut, I could play Fervor, I could play another Genesis Dragon. Like you have all of these options. What's the best one? And honestly, like what I did when I used to play Dragon Mirrors, I've had a little notepad out and I'd write down every single card my opponent played, so I knew exactly what they had left in their deck, and then just make my decision based off of that. Just math it.
Go for the math. He's going to put himself at 4 play points left here to make a decision with after a Blazing Breath.
I don't like the defensive turn here.
I've got to take a break.
Maybe he's assuming the reason Kionys was so offensive. You know, maybe he's like, man, those last 4 cards have got to be like triple Zeus Bob or something. They have to be, you know.
It's pretty close, honestly. It's pretty close. Like honestly, if I was Kionys now here, this is where you actually take control of the game. Like Essia gave up his turn essentially. Now you have room to play this Ouroboros, and you just start this winning war. That if this Ouroboros ever lives, you just win the game on the spot.
The Evolve on Dragon Summoner there was really weird. Another area.
Oh my goodness.
He actually has 2 of them.
I love it.
I
love it.
He has 2 of them.
Yeah, this is easy Ouroboros. Kill the 3/3, pass a turn, force your opponent to deal with it.
Right, because every turn they have to. Unless you heal past 16.
And realistically, the hand for Essia is not very strong. Like he's got a Genesis Dragon Erd combo.
That sounds pretty strong to me.
Which is actually pretty strong.
Yeah, that sounds pretty strong to me.
I was saying that as I looked at his hand, but then I saw those 2 cards.
You saw the Dread Sea.
Yeah, and then I saw the Queen of the Dread Sea. Yeah. All right, never mind. So actually, Essia just has the win next turn.
Yeah.
If the Ouroboros is played, so forget what I'm talking about. He has to play the Zeus. That's the only play here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he's got a lot of options. Oh wait, he does. He has actually all the options.
Oh, he actually just has lethal.
Yeah, he has lethal.
He has 16 possible storm damage. He's posing the exact same threat Kionys is if Ouroboros lives.
Yeah, and of course Kionys can't know this, but he's got to know that it's an option, especially after looking at the deck list. So he's got a hard choice to make here. Ultimately, there is only one though.
Yeah, only one play saves him. So, and he made it.
He sees it. So honestly, this game at this point is just super easy for Essia, right? He can just play a Bahamut here with no fear. If there's a Bahamut answer, he just wins the game. He put himself into a really nice spot. Like, these combo cards, very cool. Not necessarily Ariat, but very similar in the fact that it will pop Genesis Dragon so it can attack again.
I think we're all kind of glad that it's not Ariat, though. So.
I'm not.
Queen of Dread Sea.
Wait,
does he have it
now?
Time to say goodbye.
Oh, he does have it
Genesis
now.
Dragon's attacks twice for 14.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well played by Essia. We're seeing Dragon win with all these combos now, so I remember before the match, Rainey was talking about, you know, why Queen of the Dread Sea? Why all these cards? This is exactly why. It helps you finish that game off. Yeah.
This is why. After Zell got nerfed, they needed really good reach.
Yep. Yes, they did.
So they found better reach. This is better than Zell was. So.
It feels better.
It's definitely better, I think.
You don't have to play random 2-drops in your deck. You can just play a bunch of big Dragon followers and neutral followers like you want to. And I kind of like Erd more than Ariat now, seeing it, because Erd works better in just the nature of the deck. Like, Erd can work with Ayala to help you ramp and replay your Ayala. It can help you redo a Genesis Dragon. I mean, it can help you be defensive, and it's an earlier play. Like, it has a lot more use, I feel like, than Ariat.
Erd can also be used, like, offensively to de-evolve things to your opponent plays.
Right, exactly. So very interesting choices from all of our Dragon players today. All right, and Essia is bringing Neutral Haven. That's right. So he's got the aggro deck. We'll see if it can hold up to Dragon this time.
I think we've seen this play out quite a few times today. And I don't think we've seen Neutral Haven beat it once, have we?
It has not been doing well.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We also haven't seen like the Ultra Explosion like turn 4, turn 5 plays either. We've seen
those are really uncommon though.
It is uncommon.
We compare the deck to Daria all the time, but it almost never, you know, has a lion on 4. Like,
he's going for it though.
I don't know.
Keeping the lion in the opening hand. Wants the high roll. I like this, and so far we haven't really seen Dragon have a bricky draw. Like, the one time we saw it kind of brick, it top decked into the Oracle on the right turn and then just smoothed it out.
It was perfect.
It's really hard to now, though, too, because Dragon Summoner can pull Ramp, it can pull all these other things. I don't know, it just feels like a really fluid deck.
For sure.
Ooh,
Elta tech, though.
Ooh, we get to see the tech finally, see if it's any good.
Yeah.
Now,
it also shuts down every single card you play.
Right.
But, you know.
Right. That it does. It's not just your opponents. But on a very good turn, like, say if you just play it like you fill up the board. Oh, he's just playing out the Elta now.
It's got more than one, I'm sure. And you don't really want to put Varia out there because she's useful.
That's fair. Same thing with Lyriel. Got the Alice.
Alice right there.
Okay.
This is looking kind of okay for Essia.
Now, interesting to play the Faria this turn as opposed to the Lyriel. I don't know if Lyriel has as much advantage as Faria does in this matchup. The 1 damage could be okay, but the +1/+1 to your team is definitely good. Not gonna matter much.
Especially playing on like Breath and Conflagrate and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep. Kionys with clear the board and the aggressor down, keeping those life totals the same.
And Alice will come down, but she'll be pretty lonely.
And then this is where we actually get to see a bigger play that we haven't seen so far in Goblin Princess. Goblin Princess is a 5-play point 2/1, and when she comes into play, you summon 2 goblins, and when she dies, you get a 4-play point 5/5 Goblin King in your hand. The cool benefit that it has in this deck is that it will triple reduce the spell or the Lions and the Eaglemans if they're in hand. So it's a huge play. Fills up the board and reduces the cost.
And he does have 2 Lions in hand, so. Draconic Fervor, so Kionys is wide open.
Yep.
Ooh, another one of those. The one on the right is buffed, though, so.
I don't like this. And he has an amulet to pop. This is not a bad turn to pop everything. We do see that there is a conflagration.
I'm not sure if this is the turn to pop, because, like, you would lose... You summon 2 goblins, so you don't have space for the amulet.
4. You're right.
Yeah, so...
You're right. So yeah, maybe not pop everything this turn. I mean, Essia has 2 goblin princesses. I can't imagine he wouldn't play either of them this turn.
No, one of them is coming down for sure. I think he's considering around Breath of Salamander. Never mind.
Interesting. That is the last. Okay.
He's gonna save those and just play a lion. Okay. That's fine. That makes sense, I guess. More stats.
Not bad at all.
I think it's more stats, actually. It's definitely more face damage, because evolving this does 3, so...
And if you see this board, this is not really open to conflagration at all.
No, definitely not. Only one thing dies.
So very, very well played by Essia this turn.
Even Breath of Salamander only kills 1. So...
He'd have to use 2 spells, possibly kill 2 things, but that's still leaving a ton of damage in play. A ton. Now, to be fair, as is the case in all the games that we've seen so far, this neutral deck, if this board gets dealt with, the follow-up is just okay.
True.
It's not great. It's not gonna bowl Kionys over, but Kionys has to get there. He's got to deal with this board.
I'm not sure if he can. Sibyl's gonna be an option here, but Breath will have to kill the 5/3? Or the Breath will have to kill the 3/3. Sorry, it's not a 5/3.
Yeah, Sybil killing the 5/6. Okay. He does the heads-up playing and kills the big one that can be evolved, like we talked about earlier.
True.
Ooh. Leaves 10 damage in play.
Oh my gosh. Garuda on the... do you just... you don't just pop Garuda here, no way.
I don't think you need to. I think it's guaranteed damage. I don't even think you need to evolve this turn. I think just the Goblin Princess this turn is just fine. And then just go face for 10.
Leaving Sybil?
Oh, I guess that's right. I guess you have to kill the Sybil. I don't want to Evo a Goblin into a Sybil, though. That feels so bad.
But do you want to throw a 5-attack follower into
No.
it? Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just let him gain 3. I don't care. No, yeah, you can't do that. Maybe you do play the Goblin Princess, evolve the Goblin Princess to get a ward into your hand. Just so you can protect your board next turn if it's not cleared off yet again.
It's less pressure than the Goblin would have been, though. Looks like he's going to evolve the Princess, though, because he played the non-buff Princess, so...
He's thinking about it. He, like, made a decision, but then when he played the Goblin Princess, he's like, wait a minute. What do I really want to do here?
He's redeciding.
He's just like me in this situation.
Because that 1 damage could matter.
It could.
Yeah, the Goblin Princess being reverse stats of a Goblin could matter. And he goes for the Goblin Evolve instead. Keeps the most on the board.
Okay. We don't see a Bahamut. We don't see a Grimnir, so there's not a full board clear coming. And he plays the Lion. I like it. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, this is just over.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've got Genesis Dragon. We've got Queen of the Dreadsea that can drop down Genesis Dragon and Ouroboros. He can clear out 3 things. But not enough of the big things. Well, there could be a Blazing Breath. No, you can't do that. Can't do that with Queen of the Dreadsea. So yeah, you can't deal with enough of this. No Bahamut. Essia's like, you know what? Throwing in the towel if you got it. I like it.
If only he had a Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus would be really good here too.
Yeah.
This is the downside of playing cards like Ouroboros. When you're not playing against the mirror matchup, it doesn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah.
It used to, but not so much anymore. So there are trade-offs to building your deck to tech against certain decks. They maybe that 1 card could have been something better for this matchup.
I think we're actually going to see Neutral Haven actually win against Dragon.
And
Sounds weird.
The funny thing about it is, like, you had to play that gamble turn. Like, I have to go all in and hope he just doesn't have the Bahamut. Because if, you know, say he held back the Lion, then he wouldn't have been dead next turn. You know,
Right.
something like
Yep.
that. Or, you know, any little thing that he could have done differently here, and it might have turned out a different way. But
Interesting.
Ready to witness my true strength?
This is surely just going to leave lethal on board. I'm not seeing.
yeah.
Let's play again.
Basically just playing out his turn. I can't fault Kionys for that. This is going to be his last turn of the entire tournament, so...
Well, I mean, even still, like, playing Dreadsea into Genesis Dragon... No, that would... No, never mind.
Yeah, not quite.
You only kill 2 things. You can never even kill 3, actually.
Well, he could kill a 1-2 or a 2-1, but it wouldn't really
Oh,
matter.
right. Yeah. True.
There it is. Kionys gets knocked out of the tournament. He made it incredibly far, and if there was a live audience, or maybe the players from around the world and the viewers from around the world